Gosh, I hope this I hope this works. This would be a gigantic waste of time if something bad were to happen.
No, it'll be fine.
All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another special episode of King of Anime Podcast. This time, episode number 99.9, because we have to have 100 with everybody on it. So, the official title for this is actually King of Anime Podcast number 99.99. You cannot kill/pass. It's a reference to Evangelion. For anyone not in the know. EA, introduce yourself.
What is up? Hey, it is me, Everything Animated. I am the co-host of this wonderful podcast, and I guess you could say I'm kind of turned around on Demon Slayer since last we spoke of it, which was 2 years ago?
Yeah, just about a little over a year at least. Famously, infamously maybe would be the more correct phrasing. We killed the show at like episode 14, right before it got really good. I think we were just kind of sick of the rigmarole of watching Shonen Weekly, and I think sorry,
I was sick of Tangerine constantly just, no, don't do it. I just cut his fucking head off. I don't want to hear
Daijobu
constantly.
Nezuko.
Yeah. And the Nezuko super kawaii talk was also kind of ridiculous at some point, but yeah, it got like a lot better after this, because then the spider monster and freaking we got to see all the other pillars, I guess is what they're called.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like, okay, why couldn't this be in the other parts of the show when we were watching it?
Like, why do we deal with the swamp demon and all that stuff? Like, that stuff is really annoying to me. I didn't really enjoy any of that at all. So this film, on the other hand, I think makes a big improvement on a lot of the aspects that I didn't like. But I think that's just because it's a film format. But as for like what came afterwards for me, I'm currently in my rewatch, but based off when I actually finished it, it's I'd say, outside of all of the hype surrounding Demon Slayer, it's a good show. It's a good show.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good show too. And this might offend some people, but I personally think it's possibly one of the most overhyped shows I've ever seen.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, I can understand why people like Demon Slayer. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's a basic kind of shonen, maybe with a little more pizzazz and whatever. But I feel like sometimes the crowds or the fans could get a little overhyped on this show just because, well, I don't know, just what they say about it. It's like, oh, it's the greatest show ever. Have you seen this? It's like, yeah, I've seen some shows.
Yeah.
And I've seen some other aspects of shows done exactly the same, if not a little better. But I guess I can't say I hate Demon Slayer now. It's just, I don't know, maybe I just don't understand the hype and what puts this one above all others. Because I feel like, and I was telling you this the other day, like Jujutsu Kaisen could be just as popular as this one if given the right circumstance. But for some reason, Demon Slayer is just put on this pedestal.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this last night. I think that has a lot to do with just how much it's just blown up, just in general. Yeah. It's almost like you can't even explain it, how much like Demon Slayer has went from this manga that I've heard people talk about as like mediocre and kind of in the very beginning. Because I remember when it first started publishing, people didn't really care too much about this. And then maybe it was Mugen Train, maybe it was this arc in the manga where people were like, holy crap, yeah, like this is amazing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's my best guess, but it's just it's how do you even describe Demon Slayer success? I mean, it trumps everything in volume sales and its manga form. It's as I have people outside mowing lawn, so that's fun. Its
It's
animes
literally
is like extremely popular. I mean, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
want to say hello to everybody that is out in the chat. Silent Wolf, what's going on? Mr. Plum, hello. Talha Nor, what's up? Gojo's Domain, Scarlet Disaster, how's everybody doing? Also want to say if you're just arriving to the stream, make sure to give this stream a like and share it out with your friends. That's how we get the podcast out to people. And it's how people actually watch our stuff. So if you could do that, would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so this film is the sequel to said anime series, Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it ended like right where Demon Slayer the series ended is where this movie takes off right from there. And I got to admit, as much as I find, I guess, like his side characters annoying in the regular show, even after the finishing up the show, I still kind of found them annoying. I got to admit, I remember I wrote down the names that way I wouldn't call him Pigface and Lemonhead.
Zenitsu and Inosuke.
Inosuke and Zenitsu, not as bad, especially Inosuke.
They're amazing. We'll talk about that for sure when we get into it, because this film has a lot of really cool aspects to it. But so this is once again by UFO Table, known for Fate, that really bad Gyo adaptation, and of course Tax Evasion. And leads into this movie actually leads into a sequel as well, which season 2 is coming sometime in 2021. I imagine the fall season.
Oh my God, when that show comes out, everybody's gonna be salivating just to get their hands on it.
Oh yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for season 2 after this film.
I am too.
Very excited. So I want to ask you, what do you think this film made in box office domestically? So like over here.
Over here in America? Well, let's see. Pandemic going on. I don't know. Anime. It's popular, but probably not as popular. I'm gonna throw a number out there and say like 20 mil. 27
million.
Oh wow.
That's just
good.
That's just the opening week. In Japan, it's made $368 million. Worldwide, $422 million.
God.
To compare that to other popular films, and the same amount of and keep in mind, this is like over a couple weeks for these films. Spirited Away grossed $383 million. Your Name, $375 million.
I love that movie.
This film is so popular, it's quickly become the biggest film in Japan.
And that's just in a short amount of time. And that's during a pandemic, and wow.
Dude, it's like you can't explain, it's almost supernatural how popular this series is. It's crazy.
Imagine if this movie came out and there was no pandemic. This thing would probably be, there would be probably no end in sight to how much money this sucker would get.
Dude, it would be. I'm going to go see the movie next week, like in theaters. That is like, I've never done that for an anime film before. And as well, I'm going to go see it with my mother, who's interested in
it. For Mother's Day?
Yeah.
What a present.
Yeah. So anyways, let's get into the actual anime itself. The story, so there's this train where a bunch of disappearances have been happening, and so they bring in, of course, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke, Nezuko, and to deal with this, but as well, the Flame Hashira, Rengoku. And it turns out that the person behind this is actually one of the lower demons. I think he's a lower one, Enmu. And his ability is pretty cool because he like puts people to sleep and makes them dream eternally about, like this perfect dream or, an experience they've had before that brings them true happiness and basically makes them relive their past. What did you think about the setup to the story and Enmu?
I thought it was interesting. You had all the characters just on a. I like the introduction to what's his name, Rengoku.
Yeah, Rengoku. Delicious.
Yeah, he's or the English dub. He's just saying tasty, tasty, but it was Japanese. Ooh my, ooh my. He's just shouting at the rooftop just how delicious the food is, and it's just so funny. Like, I mean, not to say, I don't know. He ate like a humongous tray of these freaking foods, which is ridiculous. Freaking Inosuke is just so infatuated by the train, just going, let me outside. I can wait. Whoever does the dub for this guy's, like the English dub for this guy's voice, they nailed it. Like, I personally think he's a perfect fit. I think the dub itself is actually pretty good.
Yeah, so before weeps get mad and say the dub's bad for no reason, even though they've never watched the dub, the dub for this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, like, it's really good.
Phenomenal.
And Johnny Von Bosch is even in this.
Yeah, he is. I know the anime series got Steve Blum to play one of the demons earlier on.
Oh.
And I was actually disappointed with the English dub in the TV series, but I think I'm going to go back and give it another shot after this.
Yeah. I think the same guy who does Deku's voice in the English dub also is Tangerine's voice, which I thought was really neat too. They just kind of fit each other perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, everybody like pulls their weight in this dub. It's very well directed. It's very well voice acted. I don't know who did the directing and ADRing for this, but they deserve a raise.
Yes, but I guess back to the point. I thought the setup was really neat. It almost kind of reminded me of anime with Inception, kind of in a way, because of just how it's like, oh, they're in their dreams and they're gonna do something, but the villain, other than the fact that he's got this creepy hand that just clicks every once in a while when it closes its mouth, on the mouth hand is just disturbing.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a really interesting way to take down your enemies. Just basically knock them out, kind of like give them that little. It's almost like a carrot dangling, where it's like, here's your life, and then he just goes ahead and just messes with them in the most disgusting way and just kills them. So it's one of those, like, this is your dream life, this is what you get. It all just kind of like a little bait and switch. It's all, turned to flames and then just takes your life. Kind of messed up, if I do say so myself. But
yeah,
and then his ability to fuse with, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the train. It could just be anything that has his blood on it or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but just seeing his body as a floating head was kind of goofy. But other than that, it's an interesting, definitely very interesting power. A unique villain, if I do say so myself.
Scarlet Disaster says the setup of the demon powers was executed pretty great in my opinion. Yeah, not only the setup, but I think just where it led into, like, all the, like, I think what makes this movie resonate so well isn't what happens at the very end in that last big climactic battle with Rengoku and Akaza, but it's what happens when Enmu uses his powers and you see all of our characters' pasts. And what I think is actually really interesting is in the first couple episodes we kind of saw Tanjiro's backstory, and I think even though we've already seen it, it's just as, powerful the second time around, which I think it's a really good accomplishment for a series to retread some of that and to make it interesting a second time. And I think they spend more with Tanjiro's past than they do other characters, which is even more interesting. I just thought all that was really cool. What do you think about Rengoku, though? Because for me, easily, he stole the whole movie.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He's badass and strong and powerful. I didn't know what to make of him until the second half of the movie. This movie's kind of strange. Like, you have the first part with the train, then it feels like the last 30 minutes just or 45 just kind of turns into a completely different movie.
It does, yeah.
And then that, in my opinion, is probably the highlight of the whole movie, is just Rengoku. You see, it touches a little bit of his past, which I thought was nice, because at least I don't think we really got to know most of these pillars. I mean, some of them we did, like Shinobu and the girl that Shinobu took in, who never spoke. Yeah, thank you. I'm bad with names. But we got to know those people and a few here and there, but we never really got to know Rengoku until this movie, which I guess you could say just kind of put a lot of things into perspective. And yeah, he stole the show towards the end when you just see probably one of the best animated fights I've ever seen. I mean, it's definitely up there with Super Broly and some other films that I've seen, but it was incredible.
Oh yeah, I think every single action sequence in this film is like, and I don't want to like shoo or undersell a lot of the stuff that happened in the actual anime itself, and I mean this in the best way possible. Every single like sequence in this film was better than every single action sequence in the anime, in my opinion. From and not just from an animation perspective, but from a story perspective and how they paced it, and like the last fight, for example, was just insane. But you mentioned, I actually want to talk about Rengoku's dream a little bit, because I thought his was really interesting, because his is, he starts back talking to his father about becoming a Hashira, and his father, like he's excited to tell his father. It seems like his father, he looks up to his father quite a bit, and it turns out he doesn't care, and he projects those same feelings onto both of his sons. Because he has a little brother, Rengoku, named they pronounce it somewhat differently from how it's spelled, so I can't remember, but Shinjiro. And it turns out in the past, his father was actually a very passionate person, but lost all of his enthusiasm, basically lost his spark, seemingly when their mother died. So after that, he's kind of just been wasting away and not really taking care of himself. And what I like about this scene is, after his father tells him that he's never going to be anything and never amount to anything and it doesn't matter, he goes to tell his little brother to he believes in him and to keep his passion and, fight for his dreams. And I thought that whole thing was just so well written and well done.
Yeah, that was. It was they did that whole thing so well, very touching, and just made it that much more impactful whenever we got to that, what happened at the very end of the movie, for sure.
Yeah. I guess we'll talk about that more later. we'll probably save that for last because it's just such a
Right.
big moment that leads into so much other stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
what did you think about the other dreams?
Tanjiro, yeah, makes sense. You know, he's with his family. They're alive. So happy. And we get Nezuko talking. Oh my god,
Yes,
speaking words.
she talks in this film, and I was like, oh my god, she has a voice.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we get, as you know, Van Halen would say, we get the best of both worlds, though, because when she wakes up and she headbutts Tanjiro, and like she cuts her head open, she gives the angriest, mm-hmm.
And then she just burns him.
Yeah, burns him with her blood, which is metal as fuck.
His was good. Freaking Lemonhead's dream is nothing more than just
I thought that
him
was
protecting
hilarious.
him protecting Nezuko.
Yeah, so they're like in this clearing, and Inosuke's like, Nezuko, there's like a river up ahead. What are we gonna do? We have to swim. Nezuko's like, but I can't swim. Zenitsu freaks out, and so he's like, I'll carry you, Nezuko. It's just their faces. It's so funny. I love it. I like Inosuke's as well, though.
Yeah,
Inosuke's the best.
Inosuke's dream. He's just, what is he doing? He's just mining for gold. He's like in a cave,
Yeah.
and they're just like looking for something.
Yeah, and Panjiro and Chuitsu show up, which is the Tangerine and Zenitsu as like Tanaki.
Yeah, freaking, it's just, I don't know, like the dreams are funny. I like how all of these, I guess they were just like subordinates that were just trying to have good dreams themselves because they were forced into doing it.
Yeah,
None of them
that
could
was
do
interesting.
it. Yeah, none of them could get the, I guess, like spark or whatever they were trying to go for. Freaking Rengoku in his sleep was choking people. and just everyone else, like, it's like, I can't, like Inosuke's dream, he's just like
he
this
fights
weird
a train.
fake thing.
The train is sleeping, and that's like they're trying to fight the train. That's Inosuke.
Yeah, that's what that was. I just thought that was so freaking hilarious because it's just like, I knew this train was evil. Let's go get this train.
Oh god, I love his dub voice.
His dub voice fits him perfectly.
So good, so good. Which is it's funny we're speaking so positively about Inosuke because I remember when we covered it weekly on KOA, that was like
Oh my God.
the biggest like I remember we hated Inosuke.
He was so one-dimensional. All he wanted to do was fight and be better than people. I was just like, this guy's annoying. And I thought the same thing for Zenitsu. He was just a big old crybaby.
Yeah,
But it just...
I think it goes to show how important presentation is for some of these characters.
Right. Right, exactly. Freaking just... I don't know. I wish they could have shown their better selves later on, but early on we just had Zenitsu, just crying and begging, please marry me. Like that right away turned me off to him.
Dude.
So much.
Dude, when I remember seeing him and just being very worried. But I think it's great, that these characters are now just like, to me they're so much more enjoyable than ever before, and I hope that's the way it continues in the anime.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So you were bringing up the kids though. I think these like are a really cool supporting cast, like these children, because like you don't like they're obviously like doing really bad acts, but you can understand why they would like fall to this level and be brainwashed by Enmu to do these things. And I think that makes them sympathetic, and it makes you want to root for them to, be saved. And besides what happens to the girl with Rengoku, they all make it out pretty well off, I think. Which is another thing is like they saved all the 200 passengers, which is pretty great. So everybody besides Rengoku made it out pretty good. So maybe not all 200 were safe.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was saved except for one.
Poor guy.
I know.
I like the way they try to do it as well. Like they went into the dreams of these other people and they had to find the threshold of the dream and then cut through that to find the soul of the person. And I like how there was like this thing like with the souls looking different, and that was really interesting. That's another thing is about Demon Slayer in general that I really like is they're really big on what do colors mean and playing up, all the different colors of these characters. And I think that's a really cool aspect.
Yeah, very 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 pretty. If nothing else, just really really awesome. But yeah, I totally agree. So I've seen in the chat Zenitsu came to help Nezuko, and I was like, yes, Zenitsu is sleeping. That's right. He only gets like badass when he falls asleep, right?
Yeah. Zenitsu,
So
that's his thing.
It's just like perfect for him. It's like, oh, you're gonna have me go to sleep? Well, I'm just about to fuck shit up.
Yeah, that was the cool thing. Like when they first introduced that in the anime, it was like a really cool twist, I think, because he just like getting murdered.
It made him bearable because, I'm like, why does he even want to be a demon slayer? Oh, that's right. He was forced into it. He doesn't really technically even want to. So what can he even do? Can he do anything? But then, yeah, I remember seeing that scene where he just goes really, really fast. And it's just like with lightning. Right, because he got struck by lightning. For some reason, hair got turned yellow, which is stupid.
But it works.
Right. And then that's how he goes like really, really fast. So I was like, okay,
fast.
Interesting. Right. You're too slow.
Oh man. Mr. Lum says 200 saved, 1 death. Kiritsugu approves. If you don't know, that's a Fate reference. Kiritsugu is like a hero of justice or whatever. And his whole thing is like, if I save the most people, then that's good. So like he will willingly sacrifice a group of 5 people in front of him to save 10 people that are like,
damn.
Yeah, not much of a hero. But that is Kiritsugu. Which as a side note, people love this way more than the Third Heavens Feel film. Apparently that didn't turn out really well. We'll talk about that. I will talk about that later on when I actually watch that film. So, before, the big fight with Rengoku and the upper third, what did you think about the fight on the train with Enmu and Tanjiro and the others?
I thought it was neat. Definitely everyone got to shine in the fight. Rengoku was taking care of everything inside. He had Nezuko and Zenitsu just also taking their own carts or whatever. So when it came to first of all, I think Enmu kind of left himself exposed a little bit too easily, because for someone who's trying to protect themselves, it's like, where's the head of the demon? Oh, it's at the front of the train. Why not be more slick with it and be like all the way in the back or something?
Yeah.
But no, he wants to do it where it's in the obvious spot. But anyway, you have Tanjiro and Inosuke taking it on, which was a cool dynamic because Inosuke couldn't get messed up by the eyes that constantly kept putting Tanjiro to sleep. And his way of going about things was cool too, because he found out how to break the curse, which was in your dream you had to slice your own neck. And
Yeah.
I loved how he was he was doing it so much to the point where he literally almost did it to himself in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took Inosuke to say, "Hey, no, you're not dreaming." You snap out of it.
Yeah, that was a really cool aspect. And I wonder how committing suicide, dozens of times, I wonder how that will affect Tanjiro's character in the future, because that's, he took a very big leap of faith the first time he did it, and then he just like I think the last time we saw him do it, like his family was like, "Why did you let them kill us? It should have been you, Tanjiro." Like oh my god.
Sorry guys, gotta go. Slice.
It's so sad. So very sad.
Silent Wolf, but
Silent Wolf says Zenitsu has a lot of opportunity to become a great character. It's just that the story does not give the right development to his character. And I think that's, I think from like a top view down perspective, that's definitely kind of what it is, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But it all, I guess, kind of like leading into, excuse me, whenever they were going to take on Enmu and cut off the head, it almost sort of reminded me of Attack on Titan in a way, because it was just like, it looked like a spinal column whenever they uplifted that part of the train. And I know they were going for the head. I was like, oh, that's the neck. That's the that's the Titan neck. You gotta just slice it right there. It's perfect or whatever. But yeah, that was a really cool scene. When they defeated it so easily, and then Enmu, was like fading away, I'm like, that can't be it. There's still all this. There's still all this left in the movie. Why in the world is something else has to happen?
Yeah, and then you're like, wait, we have this whole Hashira who's on the train. It's like one of the most powerful characters in all of Demon Slayer.
Right, and he wasn't even the one to defeat him. Yeah. I thought that was kind of the same too. I'm like, something's up.
Yeah, you're like, well, something's going on here. Like it's gonna involve him, and sure enough, it does. But I think that fight with Enmu and Tanjiro was really, really good, just because of the implementation of his ability and how well it worked, and how they ended up using it, how he ended up using it to his advantage. And then eventually, once you kind of like crack how it works, like they are immediately able to every single time just completely do away with it, and it's not an issue anymore. And that's kind of his downfall, is you're very reliant on the people to wound up in that dream to know it's like not a dream. And I like the mechanics of it too, in that sense, because it actually works kind of like how an actual dream works. So like when he starts to notice, like almost immediately, like he says, he picks up that Tanjiro picks up that basket or whatever, and he's like, all right, Nezuko, we're off. And he's like, wait a second, why am I saying that? And it's like an actual dream. It's like when you start to wake up in a dream, and then eventually he, gets his sword and stuff back. And the one thing, when you're having a really bad dream or a vivid dream, what is usually something that wakes you up? You dying in the dream.
Yeah.
So
freaking. Oh.
So I like that.
I hate dreams that are just so vivid like that. You ever have dreams that are like so real that whenever you wake up, you start to question, did that really happen?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you go, okay, no, that didn't happen. That was a dream, I think. Those are the kind of dreams I hate the most.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we're about halfway into the stream. We're about to get into the juicy stuff of the movie. So if you guys haven't already, be sure to like, the podcast. Share it
If you
out with your
haven't
friends
seen
on
this
Twitter.
if you haven't seen this movie yet, yeah, we're gonna be talking deep spoilers here.
Oh
So
yeah, the
now's
very
your
ending.
chance.
Definitely.
Hello holographic. Hello lightning. Hello everybody that's just joined. Here's a interesting question that I think is an interesting one to see. Tall North says, "Do you think Demon Slayer will surpass Attack on Titan's popularity?"
I think it's right there. Like it's
I think. Well, first of all, Attack on Titan is done now, as far as the manga is concerned.
yeah.
Demon Slayer is still going on. I definitely think it's going to eclipse it, and I think one of these days, it may even become one of the best. If
Yeah,
not,
or-
if it hasn't been already, according to Funimation.
Anime of the decade.
Right.
Hala says, "Why the hell are you streaming at 6 a.m. for me?" I don't know, time zones.
Why don't you ever sleep, Hollow?
Hollow also says Rengoku is a great character, so Hollow approves of Rengoku. That means we all can finally like Rengoku.
Oh, thank God. Everybody come in. Rengoku's great now.
We said it first. Mr. Hlum says, "I don't know. Tanjiro's family is like Disposable 1, Disposable 2, Disposable 3, and Nezuko is the anime for me. Did this movie at least make you care for them?" It made me care for all of their family. I think this is really the first time we got to see their family in this kind of setting. And yeah, Nezuko for me was like perfect implementation. This is like the way that I would prefer to see Nezuko in the anime. Like actually talking and being
Instead of
or just doing like hilarious stuff like headbutting Tanjiro while he's asleep. Like she was
and burning them.
Yeah, for the whole movie, I was like literally every single scene, I was like, when is she gonna come out of her box and kick somebody in the head? When is that gonna happen? She's gonna kick this guy's head off. It never happened, and I was so surprised, and I thought that was great that they didn't rely on that again, because they did it so many times in the anime.
Oh,
the point
come on.
where
You're telling me you didn't want small Nezuko to run around with her clothes being so big and adorable? Come on, you gotta give the people what they want.
Well, to be fair, I mean, some people like that, I guess. I don't know. Scarlet Disaster says, "The Demon of the Dreams kind of disappointed me. I'm not saying the fight should be longer, but it would have been great to see him in more arcs or vital to the development of the main cast." And yeah, I guess I kind of mentioned like the effects of Tanjiro committing suicide so many times and how that would affect his character. I would like to see that carried forward. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. I wouldn't mind if it doesn't, but I think it would be really cool if that's the effects of Enmu in season 2, as Tanjiro maybe hardens up a little bit or has to deal with some of the side effects of losing Rengoku, but as well dealing with his fight with Enmu.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very possible they do that, because Demon Slayer has shown, they've shown in this film, that when a character is in a battle and they get hurt, it matters. And it plays into everything the character does from then on out. It's not like Dragon Ball where Goku's like, "Oh my god, my ribs are shattered," and then just ignores it. Like there's actual...
Give me a sensu bean.
Yeah, like at the end of the film, Tanjiro has broken ribs and he screams at the bottom of his lungs, and you have to like take into account that he's doing that with broken ribs, and he throws a sword. It's just some crazy stuff that he is able to do, and it's believable.
Was that his sword that he threw?
Yeah.
Well, now it's not coming back.
I hope that I imagine he may have to get a new one or something like that, but
Maybe he's gonna Oh, I was gonna say maybe he'd have Rengoku's sword, but it broke, so never
Oh yeah,
mind.
well yeah, that's the that one was just thrown to the side, so maybe he can find the blade or something like that and use that one.
He almost got the dude. He almost got him. He was right up in his neck
Yeah,
and everything, but
yeah.
if only he was just that a little stronger and wasn't bleeding to death and didn't have a giant hole in his stomach, he could have got him.
I
But
imagine,
yeah,
I imagine they'll find the blade and return it to his father, and they'll give it to Shinjiro.
or and here's a theory of mine, since Tanjiro went ahead and threw his sword like a idiot, it's gonna Tanjiro's gonna get Rengoku's sword now. He's gonna get it from the neck,
He's gonna
and then
become the
he's gonna
Flame
claim it
Hashira.
back. Yeah, he's gonna become the new. Even though he does water techniques, he's gonna become the new flame.
Yeah, he's gonna use water and flames at the same time. It's gonna be great.
I know he's gonna be like my guy in My Hero.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Just catching up with the chat here. Um, Holographic says Rengoku as a Hashira is truly a great character. Humble, quick to aid others, and selfless, truly fitting of the title of a pillar.
He is. He really is.
Holographic also says Enmu is a lower moon. The chances of him escaping a Hashira are quite low. So there you go. All right.
Then there's Bill.
Yeah. There's Billy.
And then there's Bill.
So let's get into the great parts of this film, which is the upper third, Akaza, I believe his name is, fighting Rengoku in a just an incredible fight. What did you think about this?
I mean, what more can you really say other than it really is an incredible balls to the walls, just unapologetic, nonstop, freaking just badassery of fights. I
Oh
mean,
my, yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to get great just as soon as Rengoku was like, "Stay back, everyone. Let me handle this."
Oh,
That freaking demon, though, who has like the abilities of Piccolo times 1,000, just regenerating just super instantly, is just. I have to kind of commend the the villain in a way, just because he wasn't like the typical just "Meow, I'm gonna kill you and twist my beard as I'm telling you how evil I am." No, he. I mean, yeah, he was evil. Don't get me wrong, but he had a way about him where he was happy to fight. He was so excited, but the whole time he's literally trying to convince the dude become a demon because this is a waste of your potential. And I almost feel like he was believable in a way where he'd be like, "Yeah, I won't kill it. Just become a demon, and then we can keep doing this, and we can
right.
fight forever and get stronger." I
Yeah.
think if he would have said, right, I mean, I know he wasn't ever going to, but I think the fact that if all he was, okay, fine, yeah, I'll become a demon, he would have stopped right then and there and been like, you know, put his arm around and be like, "Hey, this is my new guy. Let's go ahead and get some drinks as you become a demon," or something stupid like that. But yeah, very interesting demon and villain, and just all around a fantastical fight.
Yeah. Yeah. He's one of my favorite demons so far in the series. I even like God, there's like a lot of like demons I really liked even in the actual anime Demon Slayer. I liked the one where they went to the city and they used the balls and the arrows. That was really nice.
Yeah, I liked how the arrow guy, whenever he was dead and he was about to pass out,
Oh,
he
that's a
he was
she.
still. Oh, I didn't remember. Like, it just kept like fucking shit up. Was just like, "I'm gonna launch you so high up into the air,
Oh, yeah, yeah, that is
Tangerine."
Arrow guy. Yeah. Yeah. He's just like, I gotta use something. I gotta use a technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, yeah. There's some great moments in a lot of these fights, but Hollow says, if you think about it, Rengoku was exhausted from saving everyone on the train and battling Enmu, and he was still able to go toe-to-toe with Akaza. He may have survived had he been at full power. I literally have that exact same thing down in my notes. Rengoku is such a fucking badass. God.
He is.
Like, he's great.
I wish he could have done it.
I know.
Wish he could have pulled off the impossible. Like, I was cheering for him the whole time. I was like, you almost got him. All the sun's coming up. Oh, you got a giant hole, but just keep it going somehow.
Yeah, like that the fight to me just is just perfected when he is just impaled by Akaza, and he will not give up, and he is trying everything in his power. He's going to die at this point, so he's probably just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try my hardest to try to decapitate him. And he's got his like sword in his neck, and he's like halfway through, and he's almost got him, and the sun's coming up, and it just creates this really awesome tension between the two in this fight.
Just very, very interesting, unbelievable stuff.
I agree. Holograph says the fact Akaza kept bringing up his strength and urging him to become a demon wasn't just random talk. He recognized Rengoku as being the pinnacle of human strength.
Yeah, he's freaking ridiculously strong. Bill said he's like evil Goku.
Oh my god.
That's that's an interesting way to put it, but it's true, because Goku loves fighting. You know, Akaza loves fighting. You know, they could be really good friends if they were to ever like meet each other and combine realms or alternate realities. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, there's just so much cool stuff about this. Like, the only way he's able to get away is he rips off his own hands, because he impaled Rengoku, and I guess like I don't even know how this works, but like he can't get his hand out of him no matter how hard he tries. I guess he's just got impressive pec muscles.
I think he was, I don't know, it was maybe the technique that he showed Tanjiro earlier about stopping the bleeding.
That's
maybe
probably
it had something to do with that. Yeah, that's what I think it was.
That's a good catch, EA. Holy crap. I didn't even think about that.
I get it right every once in a while.
Yeah, but what's his name?
Rengoku?
Okay, there we go.
I mean, come on now. I at least attempt to make it, you know, if I've been watching a show nonstop all the way up until the movie, I try to make sure I know the names. ReZero, on the other hand, I know there's Nutella. I know that.
Oh, Silent Wolf said, if Rengoku became a demon, he would easily topple all the Upper Moon. And I think that was very interesting, because as he was trying to like beg him to become a demon, like there were multiple times throughout this where I was like, is he actually gonna do it? Because if he did, that would be like, I'm not a Demon Slayer aficionado, but even I knew immediately like this guy would be like tops of the top, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he would be very, very strong indeed.
Yeah, and even Bill says that would be a cool twist. But I'm also kind of, I'm in a sense glad they didn't, because I think if they did, like nobody would kind of stand a chance. I think, like it would be like Tanjiro would have to. It'd be like Naruto levels of power scaling. Like it would just be bonkers. Or maybe not. I don't know. Holographic says the scene where Akaza realizes he can't move his arm when he stabs through Rengoku was a major tipping point. Akaza felt legitimate fear that his life was in danger. I thought Rengoku was going to win. Yeah,
and the sun was coming up too, so he was about to get burnt and crispy.
Yeah. And I think the way that they made these fights, and I think why I like the fight so much more, is because of that sense of like a scale that's tipping all the time. It's leveled, it's balanced at all times, and you don't know who's gonna win a fight or not. And I think that's what this film did the best, and especially with Rengoku and Akaza, because we have like stakes with Tanjiro. He's the main character, but we don't with people like Rengoku and Akaza. So whoever wins, like it's very important. It's and that creates stakes for these fights. So much like that are way more legitimate, I think.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I definitely thought it was gonna be Rengoku the whole time. I think it was definitely a shock to me when it wasn't. I was legit just like, "Are you kidding me?" After all that, and then even Tanjiro was, after he threw his sword, was pissed off and screaming that, just telling him, "He won, you lost, you can't say shit."
Oh yeah, yeah. So he breaks off. He runs away into the forest because of the sun that's coming out. And Tanjiro, I think he has a broken leg as well, maybe a broken arm. I forget. He's running.
He's got some broken stuff going on. Like a stab wound.
He's for sure got broken ribs, which I think is what makes this all the more impressive. I've never had broken ribs. I don't know if you have, EA, but it's not fun. No. You can't move if you have broken ribs. Like, you can't breathe. Like, breathing hurts if you have a broken rib. So he like gets up and he takes his sword and he throws it at Akaza. It just starts screaming at him like they're cowards for running away, and that they're not weak, and that they're just humans and they always have the advantage because they're fighting at night. And I thought that moment is like what really, really sold me like on this movie being as good as it was, because it was just perfect, like that whole scene. And it was equal moments badass, but as well equally just really emotional.
Right. Yeah, that was really, really cool. I think at that moment, that's when I knew, well, Rengoku's gonna bite it. he's a downer. He's a downer. He's a goner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was really cool though.
Yeah, great stuff. Honestly, like really amazing stuff. As well, once again, I want to remind you we're at 33 concurrent, which is the highest so far on this stream. If you haven't already, be sure to like the stream, share it out with your friends. We're almost towards the end. So if we could make that push for maybe 50 likes, that's just 7 more likes, I would love you all. So Rengoku's final speech had me in tears. I literally rewatched this final scene just to take notes on it before this podcast, and I was crying. I'm doing that a lot lately. I don't know why I'm crying so much.
Do you have a bunch of puffy eyes now?
Yeah, I do. Like, legit. It was such an inspiring scene. And because of how inspiring it was and the context, and like this character's about to die, it just made it so just sad and emotional. What did you think?
I'm weird when it comes to things. Like, I know that the scenes are sad, but I haven't cried in an anime in a good while. I can't even remember the last time I did. That's not to say I didn't find it emotional and got me a little teary-eyed, because it did. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the whole man bravado or whatever. I can't cry. My girl's right there.
Oh, we hit 52 likes. Thank you, everybody.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you so much.
But no, it was really sad and it really was emotional, and I got the little crocodile tears, and I was welling up a little bit. So I was just like, okay, let's keep this going.
Clear his throat. I'm not crying.
I'm not crying. It's just these damn allergies, man. I tell you, it's gonna be the death of me. but yeah, it was. I guess you could say it was just bittersweet because like we just got to know this. That's not to say we didn't know him in the show, like in the regular series. It's
Yeah.
just I feel like we got to know him a lot more in the movie, and then before you know it, he's dead.
Right.
And I think that's what really got me going. No, we just got to know this guy. How can you take him away when we see how cool he is? It's just that just got me going. And like I think the part afterwards where the crows literally are telling all the other Hashiras of his death was also really, everyone had a different reaction to it. People were depressed, some people were pissed. That was really, I guess you could say the icing on the cake too, because now one of theirs is dead. How is everyone else going to react knowing that the higher, what are they called? The higher tiers, the high moons?
Yeah.
How they're going to react to like getting them? Like, are they gonna go charging full long, just take out these mothers, or I don't know. It really has me in high hopes to see what's gonna happen when season 2 drops.
Yeah, it seems like with Rengoku's death, the playing field for demons versus humans and the Demon Corps has been significantly altered. And I think because of that, people like Tanjiro and Nezuko and Zenitsu and Inosuke, they've just become more important than they ever have towards the overall plot outside of, their own little bubble. So I think now because of that, I think they're going to be forced into situations that they normally probably would maybe have help in otherwise, or would have been solved by Rengoku in the past. So his death is going to have a lot of ramifications on the story. I can almost immediately already tell you that. And that is the one thing that I think is important in all deaths, is that like Rengoku isn't just going to die and die. Like, he's going to die, and his death is going to have an effect. So I'm really excited to see what that effect is. I really like his final speech to Tanjiro, because I like when in scenes like this, it has a really positive message. As my alarm goes off.
Wake up!
Because I think it's important to, when you have a speech like this, not make it something that doesn't ring true, rather to have something that has some type of valuable lesson that you can apply to your own life. Because I think that makes, in turn, a character's death more human and more grounded. Not like, in my final moments, you must get the device and save the world for me. Like, that's not a cool death. That's just kind of, you just died because you needed like an emotional moment, right? This is different. I actually wrote down what he said because I was crying during it, so my handwriting
please
is terrible.
don't cry whenever you read it, okay?
I may.
That's all we need is for. Can we get some donos if he cries?
Yeah, can we get donos if I cry? Can we get money to make me cry?
It brings the whole the saying "I cry" into perspective.
I cry $9.99. He says, if you are feeling disheartened that you are somehow not enough, set your heart ablaze. Dry your tears. You may feel like digging your heels in, but the flow of time waits for no one. And I thought that was really cool because it's true. Like
Yeah,
everyone can apply that to their life. Like
it really is.
Like if you're feeling disheartened and not feeling enough, then don't just sit around and wait for something to come by and solve your issue. Get out there and take life by the horns and do your own thing and try your best to move forward as much as you can. That's what that's saying. That's what he's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that you can apply that to everyone's life. Everybody feels like this sometimes. Everybody feels down sometimes. And it's just a great speech.
Do you need a hug?
I need a hug. I need a hug, EA.
All right, bring it in.
Yeah, and that's why Rengoku is my favorite character, is probably because of this speech.
Yeah, it was a really powerful speech, and how his final, I guess you could say, his final thoughts and his vision, whatever, was seeing his mother.
Yeah,
and
MILF.
Well, how'd I know you were gonna say that?
Come on.
It's a freaking sad, touching moment, and then you're just like, as you're wiping away the tears from your face, you're like, God damn, she's a MILF. That brought you back to life. You're just like, oh, hey, let me wipe away these tears. Hello, mama.
Oh God, it always happens.
God.
Oh my God. Hollow donated $9 he says, set your heart ablaze. So we got to break out the weed. Is that what he's saying? What he's saying? Set your heart ablaze?
I don't think that's what he means at all. I don't think it's about, smoking on that kush. I think it's about what he said when he died. Anyway, like I was saying before, the MILF talk was his last vision was that of his mother, and his mother was saying, well, he asked for approval, basically. It's like, I did well, didn't I? And she's like, yep, you did very well.
Oh my God. And then he died with a smile.
Right. That was his, his letting go, so to speak, passing on. That was it.
Dude.
What a way to go.
I'm going to cry. That's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. And then how does it end? I mean, I know we get the crow talking it up with all the other Hashiras, but then I can't remember what else happens. Like what happens at the very end? Like they're going on to their next assignment.
Yeah, they're going on to their next assignment. Yeah, which is, by the way, I don't know who did the music for this. I think it's Yuki Kajiura. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The music in this film is amazing. But what I think is really cool is at moments after he dies, the kind of the sobering voice out of all of them is the most cartoonish character, and that's Inosuke. And he says probably one of the best lines, because Tanjiro says he feels frustrated because as soon as he gets over a hurdle, there's another wall, and behind that wall is his friends, and he can't do anything to get over this wall. And Inosuke says at the very end, like his last line,
shut up.
Yeah, he says, come on, let's go train our asses off.
And be stronger than we know we could be.
Oh,
yeah, I think, and I never thought I'd ever say this, I think Inosuke is becoming one of my favorites in Demon Slayer.
I know, same.
If you would have told that to me back when the show first came out, I would have laughed my ass off, saying I'm never gonna say that.
Dude,
never say never.
Remember like a couple months ago when I was like, hey guys, maybe we should just not do Shonen weekly, instead do it in like how we do this, because the last two podcasts we did like this on JJK in this movie, like, we've liked it.
Yeah.
Whereas all the shonen we've watched weekly, outside of maybe Vinland Saga or something, we've killed and hated. So
yeah, like Vinland Saga, Carol and Tuesday, and maybe even Shield Hero was really the only ones where we stuck with it. And Shield Hero is only by a little bit because you were like, "Oh, please, please, please!"
yeah, I bet.
You were begging to keep it on.
Just some final stuff before we wrap it up. Once again, if you haven't already, be sure to give this podcast a like. We're 2 likes away from 60 likes. Share it out with your friends. Helps get the show out there to other people. Just some final notes. Rengoku tells Tanjiro to visit his home, and he notes that there are notes left by the previous Flame Hashira, and the I can't read this. The Hinokami Katara was there. I was crying during this, EA.
Is it all smudged?
It is. Like, I should
dried up paper. What the hell?
I should post a picture of this to Twitter. It's terrible. He also tells Tanjiro to tell Shinjiro, his younger brother, to follow his heart, and as well his father to look after himself. But a really cool, I think, kind of like just a cool moment in general, honestly, is he says to Tanjiro that he believes in Nezuko and that she is a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. And I thought that was a really cool moment because...
yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
She doesn't say any fucking words, but she's a member.
Yep. It's a great film. If you guys haven't went out to watch it yet, you definitely should. So, EA, where can they find you?
You can find me at Everything Animated. The cool one with the awesome face and my, the where I look like Goku and I'm powering up. I do a weekly podcast, not just with KOA, but with Rising Sun Reviews, where we talk about My Hero Academia, the current season right now, so season 5. We'll be talking about it sometime this weekend because I think he's back from vacation, so this ought to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Twitch, Killer Zeke 87. I do a weekly, and I'm trying to do more streams over there. I do a community stream on Sundays, and I play all kinds of games. I'm gonna try to play the new Pokemon Snap.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah, because I heard it's not that long as far as gameplay. It's literally only 10-15 hours, which, buying a new game for that much, a little pricey. So I'm actually renting it instead.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just gonna rent it. I'm game flying that shit. I'm gonna play that. So come on over, see me catch some wild Pokemons. And I have a freaking channel with my girlfriend called All Elite Couple, where we do reactions, reviews. We talk about All Elite Wrestling and wrestling in general, and we are 5 away from 200 subscribers. Please check us out.
Well, thanks everybody for coming out to the podcast. Much appreciated. This afternoon I'm going to have a video out on 86 along with this podcast, so 2 videos as well. Be sure to check out Satsuki. He's the other member of this podcast. He was not on because he doesn't watch movies. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for getting this podcast to 60 likes. Once again, if you haven't already, be sure to share it out. That's how we get the podcast to other people. And we appreciate you. We'll see you Monday on the 100th episode of the King of Anime podcast.
Oh my God.
Thanks everybody for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.
Later.